Your eyes do not deceive you. It's the second episode of Fully Charged Europe in about the space of 3 days. We're here to hype up i52 a little bit. This is episode 15. I am Admirable. CommanderX hasn't managed to make it back from work yet, but he might be joining us in the next 15 minutes. We've got Jason Allen, kaidus here, Chris Parker, WARHURYEAH, and joined by our two special guests. We got Arie and Nymthae representing the casting at i52 and the event administration itself. And of course, we've got John on the camera. Let's jump right into it, I guess. Nymthae, what's happening with i52 TF2? What's the latest? Give us some details for the people that are too lazy to read the website.
What's not happening? So the prize pool was confirmed at £5,000, so that's healthy, as it was last year. I'm not sure whether I don't know how public this is, and because Bones has abandoned me, I'm just going to say it. The Australians have officially bucked, so they are definitely coming, and they look to be in talks sorting out boot camp pre-event, so lots of exciting things happening for them. Other than that, everything's just coasting along, waiting to finalise some details on either side of things, but it's looking good.
Yeah, I was talking to Yuki last night, or casting with him, and I was grilling him a little bit, and he said that like you say, they're definitely coming, and they're going to keen it up. I think they're coming maybe a week early, or definitely a few days early. And I'm hoping that the Australians are going to win, so we get a three-way tie between Europe, North America, and the Australians, and we have to do it all again next year. But I'm interested to hear more details, because it's been 2 years since I've actually been to LAN. Tell me about the Coventry experience at the Rico Center. You've been there as well, War, right?
I have, yeah. I don't know if there's, I don't know, I can't really get an exact confirmation, but apparently this year there's going to be a stage on the football pitch, but I don't know if that is true or not, and I don't know if TF2 is going to be on there. Can you confirm, Nymthae?
I can't, but they definitely alluded to sort of those sorts of plans when they first did the promo video for the Rico, and given how, I mean, the TF2 area is going to be sat where the stage was last time, so they seem to be running out of space indoors, so, you know, I wouldn't rule it out.
I didn't actually see the main stage, so I don't know what the setup was, because there was no TF2. I just played video games, which was a bit weird. Yeah, the event, like the place in general, for those that don't know, it's comparing to Telford, it's a lot higher quality, I feel, in terms of staff. Food's better because you get like a better variation of food. Like you get like various takeaway places, like Chinese, Indians, American food, Italian, and all that rubbish. There's still that little terrible Minecraft, that convention that happens at the same time, but I think, I don't know, it'll probably happen again, but they wouldn't allow anybody that doesn't have like a BYOC band to go into the BYOC halls unless you're accompanied by somebody with a BYOC wristband. I don't know if it was going to be the same again. I think everybody was a bit annoyed last time that there were just Minecraft kids running around the hall, sort of like, you know, being children.
Is the Minecraft component a big deal? Is it a big part of the event now?
Yeah, last time it was. They had like loads of apparently popular YouTubers. So it was just like stream of kids running around trying to get photos, yelling, getting excited, doing the usual where they just raid the expedition hall and just try and take all the free stuff and just sit at the computers all the time.
The WARHURYEAH from WARHURYEAH.com. No,
this was before. No, I didn't actually. I mean, I did wear my official T-shirt that I was promoting. I had several to give away. Even put up a temporary booth near the entrance, but it was swiftly taken down, and I was asked to return to my seat again.
Let me ask a few more questions then about how the TF2 area might potentially be set up. Arie, do you know anything about, is there going to be like a VTV stage like there had been in past years? Is there going to be that presence in the TF2 hall or whatever?
We are pushing for presence in the hall, but it's still not clear what's going to be. Multiplay has offered a private booth, which we don't really like, because we'd like to be in the hall with all the players. So we're still working on that.
What are they resistant for? Is it like health and safety or?
It's space mainly, just because they're expecting. So it's easier to have people outside the halls in private areas, so they can sell those seats to players. But I mean, they're quite keen to help our community, so I think there's 3 or 4 of us pushing for it, and we're gonna have we've got a chat lined up, myself and Byte, with one of the esports managers at Multiplay, sort of in a couple of weeks to finalise the sort of coverage and the whole event, really, how it's going to run. So hopefully by this point we can sort of get them to give us something.
Dare I ask, do we have any idea how many TF2 players are going to be there? What are the numbers looking like currently, or?
Well, according to the attendance list on the site, there's something like 267 players listed under TF2 that have signed up already, but how many of those are actually TF2 players and how many of them will take part in the tournament, I've no idea at this point. I think we're looking probably similar numbers to last year at this stage, but it's really hard to say.
I want to believe it's going to be exquisite because I dodged i49 last year. There's a hole in my heart. Sorry, Arie, I know you're drinking there to forget the pain of me not showing up and leaving you standing at the altar, but I'm going to be there this time. Who's actually sponsoring the TF2 tournament this time around? And I know you mentioned the prize pool, but is there any chance it's going to increase, or is 5,000 the entire pool, or is that for first? What exactly, or how is it going to be working out?
By the looks of it, things will be much like last year. We no longer have Aquatuning sponsoring us, which is a first. I mean, they've been doing it for a few years now. I can't actually remember the name of the company right now, but it's an energy drink company. So basically, I think we'll get lots of sugary drinks. So whether or not that's a good thing, I don't know. But I don't really know what the potential is for any more money. I suspect it will stay as it is, just by the nature of how things are. But because I think most of that money is from Multiplay's side again, because they're still quite keen to have us at the event, but it's obviously very hard for them to get further sponsorship for us. So
have they
we'll
have they abandoned the price scaling with signups?
It seems that way, yeah. They've not mentioned it, whereas they have done in the past. But we've never really been close to the scaling, and they've always done it very badly because they've had us on the same scaling as games like CS and League of Legends that only require 5 people per team. So I suppose how they're doing it now is probably just as well.
Yeah.
Are we going to get a final on the main stage, glitz and glamour?
Oh, we're going to have a big final. It'd be amazing if it's out on the pitch, because I bet it'd be a huge stage. And I mean, I'm wagering we'd be the biggest audience out of everything. So I don't doubt the community's going to deliver on that one. So we'll just see how it goes.
Are Valve going to supply prizes / an esport ticket that people can prize, where every ticket bought puts £1 million into the prize pool?
Yeah, I doubt that.
It'd be good. Like, has anybody tried to contact them or anything to see if they could sort of, not throw money at us, but throw some extra prizes and loot to give out to people? Because they do it, because they do it pretty. I mean, I know it's pretty shit for me to compare it to Dota, because Dota's actually worth something to them. But whenever there's like a tournament that's happening, no matter what, you just contact them and they just give you loads and loads and loads of loot to give out, stuff like that. And it'd be pretty cool to have that for TF2.
Didn't we have something similar back in i40-ish?
It was i46, I think, where they gave like some loads of like unicorns and posters and stuff. Yeah, I got one actually.
I gave them all out, yeah.
I got a poster signed by someone, like loads of Valve people, and I don't know if it actually is, because it's just like a poster with squiggles on it. So it might not have been, but I got one.
Yeah, well, it's definitely something to look into. It hadn't crossed my mind actually, but yeah, might give that a go.
I want to know, can we get in-game medals? Like, even Hui at his Lithuanian LAN had medals. Why do we not have medals at i52, the biggest LAN in TF2?
Well, yeah, you'd like to think it would happen. Something else to look into them. I'll just write these things down. And,
I think Hui just contacted Valve, and they sorted like the stuff out, sent us some models, sent us some stickers, all that stuff.
Oh,
yeah, he had a model maker as well, who made the medal for him. I think it is just a matter of someone taking the initiative, but don't look at me. I'm totally unreliable. Arie, I want to hear more about the team you're putting together for the casting of the event. What exactly is happening? I know you're saying it's all coming together in the last few weeks, but what do you know right now? Who's available? Who's
Last
going to
few
be
days,
there?
really. Like a few days ago, I was quite terrified that it wasn't going to happen because we didn't have the people, and TTV didn't have the people, and it was looking quite bad, really. But let's come together over the past few days. We have asked a lot of people to cast, and looks like a lot of them will show up, so it should be good.
I heard that Beta's not going to be able to make it. Is that definite? Is that final? There will be no arcs in Beta.
Yeah, there will be arcs by the looks of it, but no beta because he's got a stag party, so not gonna happen.
Priorities, man. Priorities.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, but you really shouldn't talk.
Come on, man. I'm sitting up here in my ivory tower. But yeah, at least arc's going to be there. It's going to be sick. What names are on your list then? I know I've said that I'll hopefully be there to cast, but you can't trust me anyway. Who else can the fans expect to see casting?
Hopefully NVC will be there again. That's one of the less usual names to see. I got a whole lot of people like CommanderX has said he will cast, and Sideshow, Arie, WARHURYEAH should cast as well. You should cast. So yeah, we got a load of people signing up, so that's cool.
And the big news as well, and yesterday was the round robin stage of the i52 North American qualifiers, but even before the show had started, they managed to hit their $13,000 stretch goal, so that means Lang is definitely going to be going. I've heard Dashner's part of it now as well. XTV going to be representing. What's that all about? How did he get involved?
We're chipping in a bunch of money from, well, what we have left in VTV. To get rooms and stuff, so we're trying to stretch the $1,000 that was supposed to be for Lang to accommodate 2 people, and well, looks like we're gonna make that, or throw in some more money to get Dashner over as well.
I would pay money to sleep in the same room as Lang. Just putting that out there, you know. A lot of people hashtag
That should
hot
have
Lang.
been one of the perks.
Yeah.
Donate over $100, get to share a bed with Lang for a night.
Like maybe £1,000, and if you donate that, you get to sleep in the same room.
Actually, I reserved a room for me and Lang already, so too bad.
Damn. Sorry, we didn't mean to talk about your man like that. Calm down. We'll fight out at LAN. But I am also interested, or I need to promote actually, that this i52 North American qualifier, the final of that's going to be happening tonight, probably in about 90 minutes time. It's going to be Seabear and Yuki casting that one, and I don't know if any of you guys saw that last night, but the gist of it was that Mix-Up started off playing off against XTS in the first game of the round robin, and they actually lost Badlands 5-1, and then for a brief moment there, you know, about 30 minutes, everybody thought, oh no, maybe Mix-Up aren't going to steamroll this, but then they came back and won every map after that. And it was Street Hoops and Exertus then playing off in the final game of the round robin to see who would get through. But Street Hoops had lost Cozen and they had Purin ringing. And I think that it was still a close game anyway, but either way, long story short, Exertus versus Mix-Up tonight. It's going to be a 5 map, or best of 5, you know, potentially 5 maps, an epic series.
I think it can't go
Enigma.
over 4 maps though, can it?
Yeah, I suppose it's 1st to 3, right?
Yeah, because Mix-Up have the 1 map advantage, so I think the most that could be played is 4, unless my maths is even worse than I thought. But still,
Oh right, yeah, I understand now.
There's quite a lot of video games by American rules.
Anybody see the games last night? Any thoughts on how Mix-Up were playing, or?
I saw a game.
Okay. Do you see the first game? I saw the first best of 3, and then the first map of the second best of 3.
I saw the first map. Yeah.
It was really
That's
slow.
my contribution.
Yeah. What I saw was just it was really slow from both teams. No one wanted to commit or make a mistake or anything.
The second one was quite slow. With the first map was like ended 5-1.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was quite alright. It was quite a good game to watch. But the second one, I can't remember what map it was.
Snake Water.
Snake War.
That one
It was a
sort of
reversal as well, because it finished 5-1 the other way. Mix-Up finally got going, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yes. When all the maps in that first best of 3 5-1. Is that right?
Yeah, or
Make that
5-2
yeah.
was it in Badlands the second time around. But yeah, Mix Up playing a little bit less aggressive than I would associate with. I'm not sure what that's going to mean for Lang, or for Land, fucking Lang, fuck off. But just theory crafting then, and coming back to Nymthae with a few questions like about the tournament structure. Obviously, that sort of 18 elite bracket or whatever they had in the past few years was that again this time around. Will the best teams get to play each other at the start?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was great for coverage and for hype, and mainly for getting the teams warmed up as well. And it made it so much better for everyone else as well, because they actually got teams that were closer and weren't so steamrolled. So I'd love to try and do it. I know the issues were mainly just trying to manipulate ClanForge to let you do it, but I'm pretty sure we can muddle our way through it. If you see me looking really stressed on Thursday, Friday morning, then that's probably why. But yeah, I aim to do that because I think it was a great success at the time. But if anyone has any other thoughts as to what sort of structure they'd like to see anyway, we can always look into it. But generally, it's just limitations of the system that will stop crazy things happening.
I'd like to open up to the panel of guests. Can we theory craft a little bit about who will be the 8 elite teams? Like, we can consider that it's going to be the 2 North American teams, and now we know Immunity are going to be there representing Australia. Probably give the credit to Epsilon and Insomniac, so by my count, that's 5. Right? So
Phoenix
3 more
going.
teams there.
Are Phoenix confirmed yet?
I think they're
Are probably
some
working
kind
on
of
Rib or
siege
something?
team is confirmed, but no one really knows if it's going to be any good. But the HIS team should be in the top 8.
Are Saints going as well? Am I correct in thinking that?
Yes,
Oh
Saints are
yeah,
going.
yeah.
Would Saints make it? unless
It depends, because I
Yeah.
think they're very much a borderline team at this point.
So anyone know
Just-
about the Frenchies, sort of Captain Hacks
No,
Tech?
they're not doing anything.
They're not doing it.
Tech is
Okay.
playing in Epsilon, in case you didn't catch that memo.
There are other French people other than Tech.
Well, none of them are going to play, I don't think. Like, Bull is in this HIS team, Flip is with Insomniac, Tech is in Epsilon. Like, they could put something together, but in
What's
all
the HIS
honesty, it
team?
would probably... It's HIS, Samzy, Happy, Rising, Bull, and
Forsaken, I heard.
some other soldier. Yeah, either way, they should be
Sounds
they'll be
pretty
top
sick.
8 comfortably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find it funny that, like, Hiss, the guy that Samsy's been wheeling on verbally for the last few seasons, that now they're joining together, joining forces for LAN. It sounds like a good roster, though. But that's still only 6 teams, or if we count them, then did you say a Skeege team? Is it going to be Phoenix?
There will be a Skeege team. It might be Phoenix. It might be Phoenix with Mercs. Like Skeege, Kalari, GF18 are probably all safe bets. Walters is probably not going to happen.
Walters a LAN. That'll never happen.
I don't believe you. He's so reliable.
Rib was like 50-50. Like when I was talking to Zebo and Knutson about them booking their flights, like Zebo kept insisting that he didn't want to book yet, or he had to wait and see what was happening with them. But I don't really know if anything ever materialized out of it. So I think Phoenix is still kind of a question mark.
Lego, of course, are planning to go.
I don't think they are anymore.
No?
No, unfortunately, I had PCs set aside for them, but F2 told me the other day that I don't think they'll need them. I think Dr. Phil is still going, and maybe 1 or 2 of the others, but generally it doesn't seem they're getting a team, so it's a shame.
Can Flip have
Why?
one?
I don't know, unfortunately.
Are you
Five
thinking
oh,
Flip have a
5-0.
computer?
Yeah. Flip decided he might not be able to bring his after scratching my head for the last few days.
Kaidus, you mentioned before the show, off air, that you had an axe to grind about the tournament structure. I'm going to let you vent that live.
Okay, so basically what happened to Infused, other than being complete dog shit last LAN, when we did finally step it up and start playing not terribly, in the double elimination brackets, what we experienced was a bit disappointing. Like, I mean, we qualified in like 5th or 6th seed or something like this into the brackets, and we got knocked down to the lower bracket by Broda, and then we played 1 game against a subpar opponent, and then got knocked out of the lower bracket by Broda. And that just seemed kind of strange to me, and I think other teams experienced a similar thing. Like, I'm not sure like what exactly happened, but there should be some kind of like bracket flipping that happens, like when you go down. So like we went down in one game, and then Broder went down in the next game, and we both like basically the bracket ended up being mirrored. Like what happened in the upper bracket then happened in the lower bracket. So we were basically knocked out of the bracket by the same opponent twice, which only really makes sense if it's like you getting to the tail end of the brackets. But there was about 5 games left after this. So I mean, it was really annoying at the time because obviously Broder finished in the final, and we got knocked out of both sides of the brackets by them. In theory, we could have come third or something like this, because all we did was lose a relatively close game to the finalist, but we did it twice, so that was a bit messy. So I'd like to see that rectified next time, because it was a bit, I would say, a bit unfair and also a bit boring, because we only played like one team in the brackets, basically one good team in the brackets. And
Yeah.
I got knocked out by Saints.
Same.
I'm gonna get knocked out by Coleman. We're having a war of words on the this very event thread.
Is this in-game
But,
or out of game? You're going to get knocked out by Coleman.
But well, I want to know then. Question for Arie: the people want to see the return of Shintaz and Coleman on the stream. Will it happen?
So do I. I want to see them again. If the opportunity arises, I'm gonna try and make it happen again. I had too much fun. It was also kind of stressful last time. Like 2 drunk idiots swearing on stream, but it's VTV's last stream anyway, so let's make it a big
Fuck
bang. Fuck it!
A big bang by killing
I gotta ask:
TF2.
will there be a second stream? Are you gonna try? Is that in your plan? Like,
Yeah, well, we're gonna try again, like last time, have a second stream in case we want to do 2 at a time. But the focus is on getting the main stream right and seeing if we have enough PCs and stuff for a second stream again.
and what's the deal with Byte? He was obviously on with us. I don't know, a month or 2 ago. We were talking about i52 getting the hype going. Then he sort of disappeared a bit. Is it true that Byte has got a love interest? Or is that just something somebody made up?
Yeah, it's gonna happen. He's gonna get married, so he can share the details sometime if he wants to. But that really limits his availability.
where did they meet?
So, I don't want to know. It's look, in my mind, it's some Muslim pre-arranged marriage with an underage girl, but you know.
I asked because that's the rumor I heard, so I was hoping someone would confirm it.
It's confirmed. He went to like America not long ago. Sure. And that might have something to do with it.
Well, that's good news for Byte, but bad news for TF2. But it seems like you and Bones have stepped up and are trying to assist Byte with the organisation.
Lying too.
And lying too.
Yeah.
Does this mean we don't have to deal with Byte's like embarrassing uncle presentation now?
If you find someone better who will stand on that stage and do it, yeah, sure.
I think I have the voice.
Kaidus really
and
likes public speaking.
I do.
I've got the voice and the social prowess to bore everybody to sleep. I'd happily do it.
Yeah. What is on my list here? I'm just trying to check out where I was or what I was thinking. Is there any other like things that bothered people about previous I series or anything you'd like to see changed, or what more can multiplayer do for TF2? Because I heard whenever Enigma was sorting out all this North American, the 2 teams going and talking to multiplayer about that, there was some multiplayer staffer, and this is like a really vague description I'm giving here, but some guy that was talking to Enigma and was asking like, oh, what more can multiplayer do for TF2? We'd really love to help out. But I don't know if it was just in terms of this event or if multiplayer want to help TF2 in general. But do you have any anything on your wish list there that you'd like to see at this upcoming event?
The guy is it's Jason Skittrell. He's Skittrell is his nickname, Jason something. He's been employed as like a community manager at multiplayer, I think, over the last year or 2, and it's event based. They want to know what they can kind of make to be the best event, and he was sort of saying he's the guy that's been posting all the fundraisers and things on the multiplayer feeds and the newsletters, so that's been good of him. But he did ask me, he said, the one thing I've been lacking is criticism about the TF2 tournaments. So if there's anyone with any severe gripes that doesn't necessarily want to air it in public, but wants to air it to someone that might be able to change something, then I've got contact details for him. But you can always speak to me or put it on the forums. I don't really mind.
I don't think there really is anything. I mean, the last one was pretty much solid. I mean, I really enjoyed it, having as long as they keep the sort of like the mini casting area where people can all gather teams in the knockout stages and stuff. I think that's the only thing that we sort of really do need, because I really enjoyed that. I thought it was better. I don't know. Apart from that, I think the only thing that is a personal preference is if like most of the teams, like all the top teams, were seated relatively close together, so then you could sort of move in between them, watch your best players. Because I think people that go there, they like to watch their favorite players play. So being able to sort of swap in between the teams, look at them, watch them play, touch their hair, I think it would be good in general for everyone.
Is that big block of 12 like multiplayer seats in the TF2 area? Is that the Americans and Australians?
There's 18 there.
Oh,
3
18.
times
Right,
6.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't count.
That's the Americans, Australians. So, I mean, right now it looks like they're probably all going to stay there because everything's filling up, but it does mean there's quite a bit of space behind them. So when the crowds start to congregate, it shouldn't cause anyone else too many issues, I'm hoping. But
it'd be good if you can like try and get it encouraged, because I think it would be like a better thing in general, having all the teams close together so they can shit talk each other.
I was going to say, like, we're sitting, or Somniac are sitting, like, I guess we'll be face to face with those teams. So it's like, I don't know what Epsilon will do, but it will be like 4 out of the top 5 at least in the same row, same bench.
Yeah, I think I don't think it was actually it might have been the last LAN. It was where you had like the Americans and the Australians sitting opposite each other, and then you had Epsilon that were like on the opposite end of the hall by themselves. Then you had TCM that were in their little booth as well. So just like traveling between and watch them play was a bit annoying, but nothing amazing. But I think it would just be sort of a nice touch in general. But I think for me, the only thing that I really want to see is that stage place, because that's it.
Hello?
You cut out.
Did I cut out?
Yeah.
Oh wait, when did I cut out?
Just the last like half of your sentence.
I don't know, I dozed off.
Silence.
Never mind.
I have a small kind of criticism. I guess it's more aimed at the casting thing. Anything like last time they casted from STV so they could use all like the fancy through the wall stuff and that. The only thing that bothered me about that is like I remember that HRG was sitting right next to the stage, so I would be watching like HRG play Broder like TCM, and then obviously because of a 90-second delay, I'm watching that. And then I'll just see like HRG sigh to the right of me, so I'm like, oh right, well I guess I know what the result is of this final map then, because HRG have just stood up and left in a sulk. I don't know if that's fixable or if it would be better or worse or what everyone else's opinions are on it, but
What,
can
like
have
STV delay 0 or
seconds,
something? But then does that
No,
do we
because
distrust the team's not the ghost or what?
Yeah, I wouldn't probably want to do that. I don't think multiplayer would be greatly happy about it either, if I'm honest.
We did it for the finals, but that's the only.
Yeah, that's fine because no one could do anything about it in the finals. Everyone sat there in front of it, isn't there? So
I suppose it depends where the stage is in terms of like proximity to the players.
I don't know where it's going to be if they do it now. I think it probably will be a bit further away because I'm guessing the seats they've got grayed out right now, they might put it one of those areas, but I don't know if they're trying to save those halls for anything else, so I've no idea yet. They're keeping cards close.
I don't know, I like STV delay because that gives us the ability to use our little streamer cheat feed for the camera, so we can get all the medic drops and all the other cool stuff on screen. So I'd much rather have STV delay than not have it.
Yeah, that's cool. It wasn't like a major thing, it was just a small, I just remember that one moment.
In terms of like the final as well, I know everybody wants to know if me and CommanderX are going to be casting the final. But I think Byte was talking about it will be decided by a community vote, and the time before it was decided by who casted the most games like throughout the first season. So is there a sort of like any way of people knowing who's going to be doing the final in advance, or is it just going to be picked based on the first couple of days and who does the best, or is it going to be a community sort of thing?
I like community vote. Like, I mean, like last year there was like obviously Arcs and Beta there, so they were the obvious pick. But that's not gonna happen this year, so community vote seems reasonable to me. It would be nice if you have like an American team and a European team, and then have mixed casters as well. That'd be great.
Walker's
Who's
an
gonna be able
American
to-
accent.
What NA casters are going to be there? Is Lang going to cast, or is he just going to be like on the camera? Or
He's interested in casting, but he's also, I think he really wants to make the stream as best as it can be. So he might not give up his production seat, but yeah, if he can, he will cast. Yeah.
what's Dashner's role going to be? Is he also a streamer? Is he?
He's also doing production as well. Yeah. So second line.
And no word of X time this time. Then, if Dashner's going, where's the whole XTV crew? Are we going to get Lucky Luke as well?
Not that I know of, no. Nothing from XTV yet, but nope.
Good. Dashner's just there as an individual, not as part of any organization or anything.
I think he's like part of the FTV, so
Oh right,
he's
yeah.
tagging along. So that's cool.
So what about is there anyone planning to make another documentary, fragmentary? Should be announced that Bones and Cube are gonna unveil their new project live on the main stage and just really force them into getting it done.
I don't even think they're gonna make I52 at the pace they're going. It's so slow. I
But
mean,
if we just say it now until we're like blue in the face, they'll have to do it, man. We'll throw down the gauntlet.
yeah, let's make
Maybe-
it happen.
Maybe we should reserve a slot so it plays for like that 20-minute slot, whether they've made it or not. They just have to submit whatever they've made. Now put the pressure on.
Nymthae, can you just like clip that information to multiplay, tell them that we're gonna have this grand unveiling, get them to circulate it out in all their emails and tweets and stuff, and then like what can they do? They have to get it done. Otherwise they can just hit play on Prem by Cube again or something.
Just have it on loop for a few times to fill the void.
It's been I'm scanning the list of potential questions. Highlander tournaments, Nymthae, is that gonna happen?
So the Highlander is sort of we've tried it in the past as an official tournament, and it's just not worked. We don't really have the numbers, and it generally gets in the way. And to be honest, Tapley first up, no one really give a shit. They kind of organised it, set it up, and then teams just went, "Oh, I'd rather go to the bar. Forget this," you know. So what we've kind of got this time is an unofficial tournament. So Rob from Team Awesome, who's done a couple of the Highlander Cups in the past, volunteered to run something. So I think he's got some sort of little prizes up. So it won't be done through the multiplayer system. And what I'm saying, official stance, is if you're in the tournament for 6v6, that's your priority. But, you know, if you get knocked out in the group stages, you know, go for the other. The idea against the Highlander was it will be a fairly relaxed schedule. So you'll say, you've got until this time to play these games. Do it when you can all do it. So there's a bit of flexibility in it, but what I don't want to see are kind of 6v6 teams going, well, we can't play this because so-and-so's playing Highlander. I'll just say, well, drop out the Highlander. But it is there because I know there's an audience of people that don't really want to play 6v6. So, you know, it's sort of a trial run in a way.
I have fond memories from i46 of Eckstein and Comedian casting the finals of the Highlander tournament, but clearly that was an unofficial one. I don't know. But they had like medals made out in metal, like
I can't
IRL
remember
medals.
Yeah, we did. There was one event we'd had actual medals, which they found in a cupboard somewhere at Telford or something that we just hijacked, and they were terrible. But no, the one last time, I do remember them casting it. I think it was like a Highlander tournament that had 4 teams, and 2 of them weren't really teams anyway. So it was pretty much, I think, After Dark and Crits cast teams who were kind of there try-harding, and it just went on forever. No one had any idea what was happening, so...
Speaking of Crits cast, what other TF2 orgs are we expecting to see there? Will the Crits cast guys be there? I know they're not exclusively TF2, but can we expect to see them? Will Can't Fit My Name be there?
Oh, I've no idea, but I'd like to think so, but I'm not sure. Have they been to the last couple? Do they play much anymore?
Don't ask me.
I'm scanning the attendance list. I see UKCS, TC, the Saints guys, Nervous Energy have loads of people booked.
Oh yeah, I've got another question related to the tournament itself. Map pool and unlocks. What way are we feeling there? Like like, I imagine it would be unfair to use the current ETF2L map pool because nobody plays Turbine outside of Europe. That would be a bit of a handicap. But anyone have any thoughts?
I was, I mean, at the current point, I was going to. The other maps other than Turbine have been there for a while now, and they seem reasonably established. But I'm probably just going to put up a forum post and just ask for a general opinion, and obviously consider probably the Americans and the Premiership teams. But fundamentally, it will be based relatively ETF2L. But I'm pretty sure I won't include Turbine.
What would the fairest way to do it be? Like, ask these top elite teams like which maps they want to pick, like some sort of a vote. Like, for example, this new map Logjam seems to be getting a lot of airtime. People in the Prem seem quite hyped about it. It's being played in the Nations Cup. Like, nobody's really got much experience playing on it, but would you consider throwing out a map like that? Or like kaidus, War, any of the guys playing in the tournament, would you be happy to see Logjam there?
I could take it or leave it, I guess, at this stage. If it was announced like fast, I'd be fine with Logjam, but I think we're only like a month and a half away now. So if it wasn't announced that Logjam was in the next couple weeks, then you're really kind of pushing it for, because you want to see high quality games at the end of the day. And whilst everyone always says that, like, when new things are added, it's the greatest TF2 they've ever seen, in actual fact, it's often bollocks because no one has a clue what's going on. So yeah, if it was in fast, like if it was announced in a week that Logjam's in, I think it would be sick, but it's weird because the map's in alpha still, like it's going to be developed a lot between now and then, and like which version do you settle on for LAN and how much changes you're going to allow to it.
Maybe like that was a bad example, but like obviously it's quite unfinished as well. It would look pretty terrible on the stream, but like then from the North American side, they've been playing Sunshine and Sevo and ESEA. Is that a map we should consider, or is it better to keep it like a pretty small and tight map pool of sort of the Venn diagram of the maps that are played in all the scenes?
I don't think you can really have Sunshine, because I mean Logjam is different because no one's played it and it's new, but Sunshine, like the Americans will have a season on it and no one else really has played it apart from in these weird like one night cups. I would just settle on the maps that are played in all the scenes apart from Ditch, Snakewater, obviously.
I agree, Ditch, Snakewater, but add Gravel Pit.
Oh, Gravel Pit, really?
Yes.
I think what War said.
Because, yeah, I miss Gravel Pit, and if there's any map that I want to get rid of, favour of Gravel Pit is Snakewater, because Gravel Pit is so good, especially from spectating as well.
Oh, just never in a final. Just if I put Gravel Pit in there and any of you pick it, I'm just going to, I don't know, kick you out or something.
Don't worry, War won't be in the final to pick it.
Yeah, don't worry, I won't be there, so it doesn't matter.
I think YOLO Swag, a cheeseburger, has quite an interesting question. He asks, if Valve nerf stickies again, what will you do about that, i52?
Well, I think from my point of view, it's going to depend a little bit on when they do it. Because when they initially did it, obviously a couple of weeks ago, I was like, well, last week when everyone was crying, I was like, yeah, people have got time to adjust. And actually, as much as everyone's crying now, by i52, they'll have played with it every day or whenever. So, but if they do it a week before, I'll probably just say, well, we're going to have to force, because we can force it server side, which is the problem with leagues, that we can't. It's not forcible to make sure everyone's using the plugins. But if it's something we can set up on a LAN server, then it's perfectly doable. So.
What if it was 2 weeks before?
What if you just adapt, man? Adapt?
Oh, yeah, man.
But I know what you're saying when you say adapt, but it's like it seems like you can adapt, but you can adapt, but
it's not
like it's gonna be. It's not like it's gonna be horrible, yeah. But you can adapt, but it's just gonna be like it's gonna fuck it over. Basically, you're not gonna see what you should see at the biggest LAN. It's a yearly event. Like obviously we're separate from Valve, and we have to kind of do it on their terms, but in any like real professional environment, you wouldn't fucking throw an update out and then 2 weeks before a LAN, the biggest LAN of the year, and say adapt.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
about unlocks then? I mean, like, even though the sticky nerf came in, the Americans had a few more options about how to play around it. The lovely Scottish resistance to charge and targe, are these things we should be considering as an option for the tournament, or do you want to keep it with our sort of
God no, don't
purist
add any
European setup?
Yeah, don't have to charge on target or anything like that, and it would just be abysmal if we did that. Like, even if the sticky nerf came along, like, you should just force like a server-side change for everyone to play how it used to be. But yeah, the charge and targe is just terrible. I don't know why people use it. To me, it makes the game just look like a joke, like even more than it's becoming. Like having some fucking character run around with a sword seems stupid. But yeah, just I'm fine with the unlocks. It should just be, you know, I wouldn't mind more unlocks being added, but we shouldn't add unlocks just because a nerf might happen.
I got a question then, and just for everybody, you know, like it's how many weeks until the event? 6, 7, 8 weeks. What is the most important thing we need to do as a community right now? Like, what do we need to do to prepare for i52 and make the most of it?
I think it's just generally really promoting the shit out of it, because yeah, I think with TF2 now you don't know if it's like on a timer where it's going to grow, or if it's going to stagnate, or if it's going to get better, or if it's eventually going to decline. So yeah, I'd like everyone to just sort of like put as much effort as they can into promoting it, making it known and stuff like that, especially with the public community. I've always said it, but you know, ever since TF2 went free to play, we've got a massive amount of people playing the game. So there's an opportunity to get them into competitive, and this is probably like the biggest opportunity to do it. I know one of my sort of personal feelings is that maybe at the end of these lands there should really be, or we should get someone to make, you know, a really, really good hype trailer, and afterwards like a really, really awesome frag movie, like a community one like Bones did. And if he's not available to do it, just get somebody else. So at the end of the day, it's going to promote the game, which is what we want to do.
Yeah, there's already like a lot of great content came out there from Beater with all his Legacy series videos, but how do we keep the hype train rolling? Not entirely sure. We've got like the continued events, the various North American show matches, and the qualifiers right now. But then after this all ends, there's going to be this summer lull in TF2.
This Nations Cup.
If the teams are playing, this Nations Cup's always a joke, I think. Oh, it's like interesting at the final, but it's not super serious TF2. It's not the TF2 I love. Unless
ETF12 maybe do one of those cups again. What was it? What was the last cup? Was it like the 5th cup that we had? Like another sort of a couple of weeks spent on a tournament with just one cup. You know, maybe like a few prizes. That'd be pretty good to sort of like get people hyped up. So I know the Americans, they had the Twitch Invitational, which was pretty good. Maybe we had something. It's not going to be on as a grand scale.
John did say in that original, whenever Twitch John was posting on TFTV, he said, you know, they were going to focus on NA first, but they would happily consider a European one if it proves successful. Do you even have like enough decent teams right now?
I think there is, yeah. I mean, the thing is that if there's all these LAN teams that are forming as well, especially pretty solid US, Epsilon, and stuff. So I think there's some teams that can sort of just give people a good preview of what's going to come and how strong the EU teams are for LAN. You've obviously got the regular season, but something to just get people practicing, extra hype, as you say, be pretty good.
How are we looking in terms of staffing and stuff? Like, you're saying things are starting to look better all the time, but is there any particular hole you'd like to fill in your plans? Is there some need that's not being met? Or Nymthae, do you need help with someone? Do you need more volunteers? Do you need people to step up?
We just need like full-time people. So that's like at these events, there's a ton of people that will help out a bit. Like they will cast a match here, or they'll do some errands or whatever. But you know, having people there full-time who make the stream happen, basically. I mean, we have Lang now and Dashner, so it's looking better than last year. But yeah, just people to make stuff happen. That's important for us.
Me and War will be full time.
Yeah, good. We really need that.
Is War not playing at all then? Like, is that
well,
set in stone?
I know the AO Girl team wanted me to play Pocket, which I'd be interested in, but I kind of do want to cast a bit because I do like it. So I think it's normally better if you have a strong casting duo because, yeah, I think it's just sort of better in general for everyone.
Who's Admirable's duo going to be?
I cast with anyone. I'm just like the filler, the glue. You want to step up there, Kaidus? You want to throw a few matches? Get put out early? Can we flight Ips over to be my casting partner? I'll get him to drink a bottle of whiskey again and he can offend everyone.
Just a bottle of whiskey and offending people.
We'll get a bottle of whiskey
pretty cool
for me.
too. But that would actually be really cool if Ips came and just casted with you, because those were like, apart from when he pissed off all the community and just became a drama, those are some of my favorite casts.
I've got a point here from Vasky, always messages me on Steam. Some insight. He says, like them or not, there are so many communities that are focused on TF2 but not necessarily competitive. i52 with American, Australian, European teams is the best way to introduce or show what our world is. There's Face Punch, the Steam forums, UKCS. If we asked Valve, we'll most likely put up a news post and say exactly what we want, as long as someone writes it and proofreads it. It's usually because we don't want to do it or nobody's taking an interest in it. He's suggesting as well. I'm really getting lost here.
I've lost the plot. Like, I couldn't understand the thing you were saying.
There's no
Those are
point
communities,
to what
we
he
need
said.
to tap into them.
Yeah, we need to reach out, or do we need to reach out, or do we just need to?
I don't know. I
put
think
on a
if we put on quality, people will sort of watch it, and then it's up to the teams to provide the entertainment. But as
The
long
harder you
as
try to be cool, the less cool you'll end up being.
yeah, if we sort of like go, hey everyone, check
Wise.
out this amazing TF2 community we got here. You know, it's just going to be a little bit crap. Whereas if we just sort of do what we do for the TF2 community and the comp community, hopefully people will just sort of join in to see how good it actually is.
You think build it and they will come if we just put on a good show?
Yeah. Like,
People will pay attention, but should we
I've
do
got
more?
No, I mean, let's put it this way. Was anybody actually disappointed with how last LAN went, you know, in terms of coverage? There were a few things that maybe fell a bit short, but, you know, with the fact that it's all done through volunteer and, you know, doing stuff for the game, it's really, really good. And I think it was mentioned last time that the Counter-Strike community had none of like the fucking stage and stuff that we had. Yeah, we did, because we put in the effort to sort of make a show. And as long as, you know, people are just as keen, as passionate as they were last time, it'll be fine. And
I always like to dream big. And like, I know it's way too late now, but there was definitely a dream hack last year or the year before that CSGO. They encouraged people to sign up like their Twitch accounts with their Steam accounts, and they were able to get special drops throughout the tournament and stuff like that. I'm not necessarily going that way, but like people always lament the fact that we've never been able to take advantage of the amazing in-game item system for TF2, or even to fund things, but just to get people encouraged. Like imagine if you tuned into the stream and you'd linked your Steam account with your Twitch account, that you could get an in-game item just for showing up and watching the stream, like a medal or some hat or something.
It would
like
be
I say,
good.
I know it's way too late now, but
I
like,
don't think it's a case of it being too late. I just think that there's no incentive for Valve to sort of do that. I think medals are probably the furthest thing that they'll generate for us, if I'm honest. But
In-game item, maybe.
yeah, the thing is that Counter-Strike, Go and Dota have a community that is pretty much based on competitive. Like Counter-Strike Go, the main game type that you play is the competitive format, so it's pretty much there, set in stone. Yeah, for Valve, TF2 is just sort of like a public game that just so happens to have, you know, if I'm honest, the competitive format for TF2 for me is like really, really enjoyable, and I enjoy it. As much as I'd like to have some sort of in-game items and extra support from Valve, I don't think we should really try and rely on that, and I think we should just, you know, just go for it. I mean, I've got to do. I'm going to talk to Gentleman John about it, the ever so graceful saviour of TF2. You know, to sort of come up with some stuff to fill in the downtime.
That's actually interesting. That's something that would be really cool for LAN. Like having a bit more of a sports feel to the coverage. Like
Yeah.
I know last season's playoffs, Gentleman John came through with all those like aggregated stats where you can look and see like how a player's been performing over the season. Might be a bit harder when we bring in like North America and Australia, but that sort of idea of having that little extra statistical analysis, like in the pre-game or whatever.
There's a lot more room for showmanship, and I think that might have been the only thing that I felt was lacking. Obviously, as long as I am not playing, I'd like to sort of help in sort of getting some more interviews with players and teams and stuff, pre-game, post-game, all that rubbish. If the teams are sort of all sat together and close by, having people, we do get like a little stage area, like we did at, was it I49? Yeah, that'd be really good. You can get some people, do some show stats. People like numbers and all that lot. So
you want to see more content, like interviews and stuff.
Yeah, it's just something to sort of, you know, if this is going to be the biggest LAN and it's going to be more people watching this event than any other, we need to sort of make it look high quality. We need to sort of get people to be engaged with the players. They need to sort of like, it helps build a story behind it as well. If they speak to the players, you can give them questions, you know, questions from Twitter, people on Twitch and all that lot. It'll just get a lot more focus on the players themselves, and people will sort of develop favourite teams, shows more support. I think it will sort of help build competitive TF2 in general a lot more. As long as we sort of, last year we didn't have the benefit of Gentleman John until afterwards, and I think he's made a very, very big impact in sort of how competitive TF2 is with his spectator tools. I know there's a few other guys that do it as well that have done well with the spectator tools. I mean, we didn't have that last year, so it's going to be a lot more friendly to spectate. Pre-game stats as well with Gentleman John's, like, I don't know what the hell he does, like, seriously, but considering he has a full-time job, he's still able to crack out like all of these weird spreadsheets with everybody's statistics over the past 5 seasons or whatever it is. With those tools, it'll be able to give us a lot more content, a lot more backstory for the teams, and keep the stream up and going and stuff. A lot more
so
conversation.
You think, like, keep doing what we're doing, but more of it, and perhaps in more depth?
Yeah, I guess I think there's quite a few people. I mean, as Arie said, there seems to be a strongest sort of team. I feel there's a strong team as well. With Land going to be there, yourself, there's going to be a lot more people that are keen. Oh, well, hopefully, yeah. There's just going to be, in general, a lot more people that are going to be putting a lot more effort as well. I think everybody in total really wants to put on a good show, so we might as well make the most of it.
Speaking of a good show, can we start a fundraiser to fly down there and just be like the mascot? We don't want him to play TFT, fucking terrible. But just get him to come there, and he could host instead of bite, in fact. Get down there, just guarantee him a steady flow of alcohol. He would happily do that.
Just have like a down cam whenever there's a bit of a downtime, or if CommanderX needs to go for his 57th fee. Have like a little down camera where you can just read stories or, you know, little anecdotes to people every so often. I reckon it'll be quite entertaining.
Any final thoughts on i52 right now? I know there's still so many details to be confirmed or whatever, but is there any burning questions anyone wants to get off their chest before we wrap things up? Everyone's sad.
Yeah, I think everything I think this sort of line is probably going to be very, very good. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be better than last year's because we've got 2 American teams. The Australians are going in again. And I think it feels like leading up to it, some of the teams are more on equal ground. I think it's a little bit unknown because they haven't even played each other apart from show matches, and you can't really get a feel what the teams are like from show matches. But I think it's going to be very, very good as long as the content's there and the people that are doing it, like we have faith in, they've all learned from last year. Yeah, I reckon it'll be very, very good. It just depends on, personally for me, I feel it really does depend on this little mini stage that we can get. I think that is probably one of the key things, because that really sort of helps get the community spirit up if everybody's all sitting around watching some of the really, really good knockout stages before the final.
Is anybody thinking about what's going to happen beyond LAN? Because I know, like, every year that these summer LANs have happened, there's always people saying like, oh, this is going to be my last one, man, I'm done with this. And yet somehow you still see the same faces getting interested come the new year every year, thinking about what's going to happen this summer. Anybody, like, we hear that Byte is going to be moving away. Is anybody else like going to wash their hands of TF2 after this event?
Vanilla TV is folding and Vanilla TF2 is closing, so those 2 things are happening, but I don't think that really matters at this point.
The site's closing down?
Yeah, I'm closing it down. There's no point.
A moment's silence for our fallen comrades. I'll still be here, probably.
I'll
But,
probably still be here, but
I'll
I don't
be here.
think
Kaidus
I don't
said
think
he's
I'll
gonna play. He refused.
think I'll be able to play next season, the season after LAN, just because it's Christmas time and it's really, really a terrible time for me to play TF2 because of work and stuff. But yeah, it depends on. I've got to get married and stuff. You know, all that rubbish. Terrible.
I'll cast
but-
your wedding if you want.
Yeah, well, I was going to stream it anyway. So yeah, it's an open wedding as well. So Twitch chat are allowed to come on. Anyone in the TF2 community, you're all free to just sort of come in as well, just join in. But you have to actually call me by my online alias, not my real name, to confuse the shit out of all my fans.
I've got one last, I suppose it's a proposition for Nymthae, and it's something that I've thought about in the past. Oh, this is sounding really creepy right now, actually. But I mean, I always thought it'd be cool, the fact that there's like 3 multiplayer LANs a year, and it more or less syncs up with the ETF2L seasons. Why have we never had like LAN finals for ETF2L? Does that not just make sense?
How the fuck would you fund that?
Yeah, I mean that's probably the biggest issue actually.
Yeah.
In terms of, I mean, it'd be awesome to do that sort of thing if you could almost like replay the title race if it was any good. But yeah, there's to be honest, there's a lot going on at LAN as is. So it's I think you need your own ESEA style thing if you want to do that. But yeah, the funding's awful. I mean, in terms of the future, there's I'm pretty sure there'll be no November or spring presents for TF2. I think multiplayer have sort of said they're washing their hands, but they're quite keen to support summer. So see what happens in 12 months, I guess.
Like infrastructure-wise, there's everything there, but it's just like there's no incentive for teams to bother like spending all the money to go there. Like ESA can do it because there's what, like $16,000 TF2 prize pot or something. So even if you break even, it's fun to go hit a LAN and stuff. But you're talking like teams going thousands down just to play at a LAN 3 matches or something.
Yeah,
Especially
one
for
thing
third and fourth place, who
it's
kind of know who won't win.
to be honest, even first place teams, I think most of our teams struggle to break even. I mean, even it's a reasonable prize pot, but when you're splitting it between 6 and the costs associated with going now, the tickets are getting more and more expensive. When I first started going to LAN, the spectator tickets were a £5. It's 50 quid now. Well, like it was 20 quid or 25 for the weekend. Now it's double that. It's just the costs are going up and the money's not there. And I think the biggest draw of Insomnia LANs are the community. And without the community going, you kind of go, well, what am I spending my money on? Because you know, you can play TF2 to your computer. It's not that, but I think you go to these things and realize how awesome everyone else is and how the environment, and it's quite something. So I mean, if there's no one that's ever been to a LAN before, this is the one to go to, just because you'll never get this experience again unless it comes around next year. But no one knows what's going to happen. So
I think as you mentioned, the price is a pretty big factor as well. Like the price is getting pretty ridiculous, I feel, but I'm not in charge of multiplayer, so I don't know what the circumstances are. But it just feels like that the prices are going up every year, and it's going to price out a lot of people as it is from going to this LAN. So if we were to do like ETF12 finals, I don't think it would be financially viable at all. Because as I said, I think breaking even if you finish first, is quite a big ask. And I don't know, maybe the price of going in next year might be even more expensive. 50 quid for spec is absolutely stupid, I feel.
I think I'm 2 or 3 years too late with my idea. Oh well.
Timing is everything.
I've got a message from Byte here on Steam. He's saying, can you ask them, who do you think would be a suitable guy to host the next LANs after i52? I'm not sure if he means as a host or like organised coverage and stuff like that, but who is there?
probably organised coverage if he's not going to be.
Who can we replace it with? Is there anyone that matches up to Byte?
I know why he's asking this question, because he get this response, and now no one can name anyone.
To be honest, I'm not even clear what
dead.
exactly Bytes
I think it
does.
it might, like, you know, who's going to be doing the showmanship and all that lot, or who is, because the thing is, it would just be TFTV who will just host it next season. Sorry,
I mean,
next year.
there's some of that, but as well, I know he does a bit of liaising with multiplayer, and because they kind of know him now, and he's been around for a while, and generally been in the content team, so he's kind of pulling things together like that.
Aren't you going to the meeting as well, though? Won't it just be whoever's the TF2 admin of the event, plus maybe the head of the coach, like head of TFTV? Surely that's just who would be
So I mean,
liaising.
I think, routes can be covered, and I mean, people like Bones and stuff are probably in the know, and it kind of depends on who's around. I'm pretty sure, as much as we love you, Boy, I'm pretty sure we could manage.
He
Oh,
does
it's over.
message me again there. He asks, he said it's a genuine plea, you know. He's just asking because he knows multiplayer. I'll ask, like, who should bite past the torch to, I guess.
Yeah, multiplayer.
I'm not volunteering.
They like kind of word recommendations, I think, because it makes their life easy, so they don't have to do anything.
Thanks, yeah, could do it.
Thanks, mate.
He's been
I'll get right on that.
preparing his
he
whole
gets my
life for this
vote.
chance.
I'm going to open a notepad folder and type down I-55 plans.
Brilliant.
Well, that's one to think about anyway. I hope we have whetted people's appetite for I52. We're going to have another episode, I'm sure at least another about I52, bringing in some of the teams, North American players, Australian players.
We need a live one at i52 as well.
Oh yeah, that too. That's definitely worth thinking about. But for now, I reckon it's about time to wrap things up. Just over an hour as well.
Well done.
I lied to you, Nymthae. I said that you would be
I know.
finished 20
I've
minutes
got
ago.
to go drive home now, so.
But yeah, this has been Fully Charged Europe, episode 15. A little bit of I52 hype for you. Thanks to our guests, Arie and Nymthae, for coming on and enlightening us, making us believe even more in the I52 cause. And of course, John on the stream, that thankless task. The usual suspects, kaidus, War, and CommanderX. Big thanks to me as well, you know, pat on the back there. Well done, man. That's been it for tonight, but stay tuned for the I52 North American qualifier grand final. It's that classic mix-up versus Exertus, and it's Seabear and Yuki. It's going to be late and watch. That's my bedtime. But thank you and good night.